So Mary has chosen the better part, not the good part. What Martha was doing was, of course, good, the serving. But Mary has chosen the better part, and the better part is to sit at the Lord's feet where the disciple belongs and to listen to the voice of Christ. Why is that part better? Because unless we listen first to the voice of Christ, then the best we will ever manage is kind of jobs for Jesus that leave us exhausted and complaining, poor me. But if we listen to the voice of Christ, we are then equipped, not just to do jobs for Jesus, but to do the work of Christ. So it all begins with listening. And unless we do listen to his voice, how will we ever know whether it's a time for birth or a time for death, a time for planting or a time for uprooting, and so on it goes. The only one who can teach us what time it is the Lord Jesus, not once upon a time, but speaking to us here and now. That's what the Plenary Council is all about. We seek a fresh start for the church in this land. Where do we start? We start by sitting at the feet of Christ and listening to his voice, because there will be no fresh start unless we start there. There will be nothing new. We will be exhausted and caught in a dark world of complaint. At the heart of the Plenary Council, there is the question of what might it mean for the church in this land to engage with First Nations peoples in a new way, not denying the past, that which was good and the great deal that was bad, but what is a new kind of engagement? And where can we begin as we search for that new kind of engagement to heal this wound, this running sore at the heart of the nation, not just for the sake of the church or even just for the sake of the First Nations peoples, that certainly, but for the sake of Australia as a whole. We begin that task by listening to the voice of Indigenous peoples and believing that in listening we can actually learn. So that's where we begin. That's the newness. We haven't done it before, really listened to our Indigenous peoples and really believed that we can learn from them. And not only learn from them the wisdom of an ancient people, but in hearing them, really hearing them, listening to them with the ears of the heart, we will, to our great surprise and wonderment, end up hearing in new and deeper ways the voice of Christ himself.